Hi, it's Carl Brower, and I'm standing next to the all-new 2025 Toyota Camry. This car is proof that Toyota has not given up on the sedan segment despite the ever-dominance of SUVs. And actually, the big news this year is that all Toyota Camrys come with a hybrid drivetrain. But there's also improvements to standard equipment. All Camrys now come standard with a push-button start, keyless entry, dual-zone automatic climate control, and wireless smartphone charging. And with that hybrid drivetrain, they all get 225 peak horsepower, and they can achieve up to 51 miles per gallon. Starting price for the 2025 Toyota Camry LE with front-wheel drive is $29,535. In terms of standard equipment, the base LE comes with the aforementioned equipment plus 16-inch alloy wheels, a 7-inch digital gauge cluster, and an 8-inch central touchscreen. The SE adds 18-inch wheels, more aggressive bodywork, and dual exhaust outlets, plus synthetic leather seats featuring white accents. The higher cost XSE and XLE trims add a 12.3-inch gauge cluster, 12.3-inch touchscreen, heated front seats, and leather seat covers. How do these changes impact the all-new 2025 Toyota Camry? Well, just like past models, it still rides with a very smooth, refined, and comfortable ride quality, especially on the LE and XLE models that are more luxurious oriented. If you get the SE or XSE, like we're in here, then you get a more performance-oriented suspension tune. All of them use a McPherson strut front suspension and multi-link rear suspension, but the SE has upgraded shocks and thicker stabilizer bars to reduce body roll around corners. And I do like not only the tune of the XSE version, like we're in now with the more sporty ride, but I also have to give credit to Toyota for putting a nice, fat, thick steering wheel rim in all of the cars. I feel like the steering wheel is the primary interface between man and machine when you're driving a car. And if you have a nice, thick steering wheel, to me, it really enhances the driving experience. The new Camry's cabin tech is impressive as well. It's got this new 12.3-inch digital central touchscreen, and it has really a quite intuitive control interface. And of course, it offers wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as standard equipment on all the models. It includes a 12.3-inch full-color digital gauge cluster, at least on the higher trim levels, and you can add a head-up display that I'm looking at right now. In between the gauge cluster that has a lot of information and the head-up display, you end up with plenty of info for the driver to understand what's going on with the car, well beyond speed and navigation. I really like the fact that it's got traffic jam assist, especially as a Southern California resident. I was driving the car last night and I absolutely utilized that feature on a typical Southern California traffic situation, and it worked as advertised. It was accelerating and stopping for me. I didn't have to think about it. I did have to keep my eyes up on the road. It would get mad at me because it could tell if I was watching the road or trying to read a text, but it did take a lot of the stress and strain out of stop and go traffic. If for some reason front wheel drive doesn't work, maybe because of your climate or just your driving style, you can add all-wheel drive to every single trim level across the Camry lineup. If you do, it bumps peak horsepower from 225 to 232, and it adds another electric motor for the rear axle. Now this will engage the rear wheels if it senses any kind of slip from the front wheels, whether it's a slippery road surface or maybe a little aggressive driving coming out of a corner. We're in the XSE. This is the most sporty version of the Camry, and we drove it on twisty Southern California roads, and it's got an effective combination of steering feel, throttle response, and suspension control. Really, when I think about the driving dynamics of this version, this Camry XSE, it's pretty encouraging because Toyota and Honda, as really kind of the two premium Japanese car companies, the most capable and respected, they've both offered great value for years. High quality cars, excellent engineering. But the truth is that if there were two versions of the same car from Toyota and Honda, the Honda version pretty much always had the advantage in terms of driving dynamics and just fun to drive behind the wheel. And Toyota knows this. They were aware of this, and they have been trying to address this situation in recent years, and they've been succeeding. And I drive this car, and I get steering feel and throttle response and suspension tuning that really make it as fun to drive as the current Honda Accord. Same thing true with the Corolla versus the Civic. Same thing's true with the RAV4 now versus the CR-V. So Honda, if they've got any advantage in that area today, fun to drive, it's razor thin. Toyota's come a long way, and it's fabulous because you still get all the other things Toyota's great for: quality, reliability, resale value, but now you get fun to drive too. When you think about it, now every Camry has a hybrid drivetrain for 2025. That means every Camry is going to have not only electric assist power steering, but regenerative braking and a continuously variable transmission. These are all the ways you get maximum fuel efficiency out of a drivetrain. And those things can be tough to tune in any kind of engaging way. Usually they all add to kind of a wet noodle effect from behind the wheel, and they just don't feel that fun. But Toyota, they've been selling hybrids for a long time, and they've got some pretty good engineers, and they have learned to tune the steering and the regenerative braking and even the CVT pretty effectively. And you go through these corners on a twisty road like this, and it's, again, surprising that you're in a hybrid and you're having the kind of fun. You know, this one's even got paddle shifters because it's the XSE. So I can quote unquote downshift this continuously variable transmission, but I can downshift it and accelerate out of corners at a lower quote unquote gear ratio because Toyota has created that kind of design for this otherwise non-geared transmission. The continuously variable transmission doesn't actually have gears, but it simulates it with these paddle shifters, which is pretty cool. As mentioned, the base LE Camry front-wheel drive starts at $29,535. That price jumps to $31,835 for the sportier SE, $34,535 for the better equipped XLE, and $35,735 for the better equipped and sportier XSE. Adding all-wheel drive bumps the price $1,525 across each of those trims while reducing fuel efficiency by 1 mile per gallon, or 2 miles per gallon in the case of the XSE. But even the least efficient XSE with all-wheel drive delivers 44 mpg. Toyota also offers this new Camry in a great range of very cool colors, like this Ocean Gem Green right here, Supersonic Red, or Heavy Metal Gray. All of them can be had with a black metal roof, like this one here. Sedan shoppers may be a shrinking portion of today's car buying public, but Toyota has not abandoned them. And if you don't really need an SUV, be honest, this car's combination of performance, fuel efficiency, and comfort is extremely compelling. Some would argue that this car is so fuel efficient it's almost neutralized the Toyota Prius. But I love the Toyota Prius's look, and I'm glad that Toyota continues to make, especially in the plug-in hybrid form. The Prius Prime is, I still think, one of the best cars you can buy right now. But Camry or Prius, if you're looking for a fuel-efficient sedan with great quality and advanced features, Toyota has multiple options to choose from.